In this film, we're going to be looking at what is stress. What do we mean by stress? We all feel it from time to time. It's quite natural, but occasionally it gets out of control. And the series of films that we've been doing was to help each of us to get a better management of those feelings that we have. At its basic level, stress is about our body's response to pressure from a life event or a situation. It believes it's under threat, real or imagined. It can be defined as the degree to which we feel overwhelmed or unable to cope, or things are getting out of control. It's about those unmanageable pressures that we feel from time to time. And they can be overwhelming. We can feel they're out of control. It's our body's chemical response to pressure that we're looking at. The stress causes our brains to release stress hormones, in particular things like cortisol and adrenaline. That makes us ready for our fight or runaway response. We used to know it only as fight or flight. We also know it as fight, flight, freeze, fawn response now. They're ingrained survival instincts. We've had them for millennia, and they've helped us to evolve and keep away from danger. But some people react quite differently. They may freeze like a rabbit in the headlights, unable to move or act against that perceived threat. Or if there's been abuse, people may fawn. That's where they immediately act to avoid conflict. And that can be quite an interesting one. It's a new one. And there'll be more research on that in the coming years, I think. Stress itself is not an illness, but its impact can lead to real physical as well as psychological issues. And we will look at those in the next film. Can be good. As I say, it can motivate us, it's beneficial for our health and well-being, it can keep us out of danger. Acute stress, on the other hand, is probably the most common one. We might be running late, there might be roadworks, we've got to meet somebody in authority like DWP or our boss, and we get filled with those hormones, ready to fight, flight or run away. Episodic stress is the same as acute, but it happens more frequently. So it could be if you're frequently late for work or the buses keep breaking down. I think the most dangerous one is chronic stress, and that can arise out of things like poverty, persistent violence, injustices. They're there all the time. A man called Ulbricht said that there are 4 types of stress. Time, anticipatory, i.e. concern for the future, weather specific, or an overall sense of dread that we don't know where it comes from. It might be situational, when we're in a scary situation over which we have no control. And there's encounter stress, where we worry about interacting with people. I think that's really common after COVID, going back into the shops, going back into social situations. And it's really stressing some people out. Hopefully, we can look at what stress looks and feels like in the next film so that you can get a sense of what happens to your own body, and if you can recognise those early warning signs, then we're better able to manage our stress.